Are you pro-life or you
I am.
pro-choice?
I'm pro-life with some
I'm
benefits.
choice.
I'm gonna give the person to the next of me 30 seconds, who is Black Saitama. Then it'll be Rat, and then it'll be
Oh shit.
listeners.
Wait, I'm not good at debating.
Alright.
Me either. Me either. But I'll
It's
try. Why
not.
not?
It's not that deep. It ain't that deep.
So are
I
you
mean, it's
pro-life or you
abortion.
pro-choice?
It's abortion is pretty deep.
I'm pro-choice. I'm pro-choice too. No, I'm just talking about debating. Like I'm pro-choice. My 30 is ready. All right.
Let's go.
All right. All right. So boom. So pretty much when it comes to like my pro-choice thing, whether it be like the time of what we consider, something being a child, to the social security benefits of the children and how atrocious our foster system is and how atrocious the social security net is for single mothers as well. Like you can't really just say like force people to just not have abortions. And especially if we outlaw it, we'll have backyard or like alleyway abortions with coat hangers, just like they have in Brazil, and that's terrible. And it brings a fatality rate and infection rate up for women.
All right. Rat 69, 30 seconds. You want to debate or enhance that?
Shit. Pro-choice up until like I think the very last couple months, but everything before that should be completely up to the individual woman. Because I think it's just like in general, it's just like a really bad like to force someone to go through childbirth, especially if they don't want it, and like if they can't take care.
I mean,
of
if
the
they don't
kid
want
and
it,
all
then you continue. My bad.
that. Yeah. Like if they don't want it, and it's just like childbirth in general is kind of shitty, like to go through, especially if you don't want to go through it. I think it's just bad to force people to do something like that. But like, yeah, up until like maybe the 7th or 8th month.
5 seconds.
Like
Alright,
to the
so
very last stages, maybe.
are you saying that just because like you think it's a life once it hits that certain amount of time in the womb, or?
Well, yeah, like once you're like, unless it's in a state like, unless it's specific, like you couldn't get to it until then. But yeah, I think like the very last couple months, it's like it's basically formed, it's like ready to go.
Alright, so you think
Listeners,
what
30
defines
seconds.
its life? It's consciousness. It's
If you could
what do you think
take
defines
it
life?
out and it could like survive on its own.
Well, no baby's
Like as
gonna
soon as it
survive on
comes
their own no
out,
matter what.
it's like, okay, like survive like out of the mother's womb.
Yeah, no baby's that's gonna be 1 month old is gonna survive on its own without any assistance or anything like that.
No, that I don't think that like that's not really nothing's formed yet. That's not there's nothing there. It's just a couple like cells and.
I'm talking about a 1 month
guess
old baby
whatever's
out of the
developed.
womb, like that's already been birthed.
What do you mean?
Like the woman's already went through the 8 months, and she's giving birth, and then the baby's like 1 month old, actually like outside the womb.
What do you mean? Like.
What you're
What?
saying is, you said you think a life defines is whenever a woman, I mean whenever a fetus becomes to a certain point in the pregnancy and it comes outside the womb and can survive on its own, correct?
I think just in general up to like the very last 2 or 3 months.
Alright,
'Cause it's like,
and
yeah.
why is that? Is that because it's fully developed or what?
Because yeah, it's basically fully developed. But like earlier than that, it's not like developed hardly at all. Does that
But
make any sense?
it's still a life, right? It's
But
still.
All right.
That's
Yeah,
not antagonizing
but, like-
each other.
I have a question for you, like listeners. Not to cut you off, Rajiin, but like,
Yeah.
alright. So let's say yes, it is foreign life.
Hold
Now,
on,
do
wait,
you
wait.
think
Wait.
in the
Before
US
we even go with this, I'm just gonna say these 3 things. I am pro-life, but with some circumstances, such as if it's rape, incest, and if it's gonna kill the mother to birth the child, she would
Alright,
have the right to
fine.
an abortion. Those 3.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, you have 30
so
seconds if you want to
pretty
elaborate
much-
on that, listener.
Alright, so boom. So pretty much with that as well though too. You have to realize that our foster system, there is a very high likely chance that you will be abused, that you could be kidnapped, that you will be sexually assaulted and raped and be forced into sex work. and
And
all
where do you
these
get the
other
statistics
terrible
from that?
things that happen.
I wanted to give
That's-
listeners 30 seconds. I think
All
Black
right.
Saitama and Rat had their 30 seconds.
I mean,
Let's-
if you
let's
want,
give them their 30
I could
seconds.
pull that shit up, but in general, it's much harder to live, especially with how many securities that we're taking away.
It's much harder to live
our
that
fo-
life compared to
from
this
our
dime without
foster
having
children.
any chance
From our
to actually
foster
live.
children, bro.
So what you're saying is
Yeah,
those foster
if I-
kids would rather been aborted
Yo,
rather
if
than...
I know that I'm not prepared, if I know that I'm not prepared
We're
for
gonna
the
give
child,
listener 30
Oh,
seconds
man.
to respond. Starting right
Respond to
now.
what?
To
Why don't-
the statements
this-
that the
excuse
Rat
me.
made about the baby and the aborting time, and Saitama's approach to childcare.
How am I gonna have 30 seconds to respond to two
yeah, I was about
claims?
to
That's kinda
say
hard.
that too. Like,
I would much
we might
rather
need to
debate one
broaden it.
person granted
If
than
you're
two.
on, I'm not going to just nip it in the butt, but just 30 seconds of silence while you speak.
I'll explain before I even get into fucking debating their topics or their opinions, at least whatever you want to call it. I'll explain what my stance is. So, like I said, pro-life except those three circumstances, and I'll explain why. So rape. The reason why I feel like a woman should be having an abortion if it's rape. One, because she was forced into becoming pregnant in the first place. It's not like she was willingly participating in having sex. She wasn't.
I want to
obviously.
rape you.
Okay, you're weird. I'm sorry.
Alright, can you like?
So if you just wait your
Yeah,
turn. I'll
Rajiin.
give you 30 seconds, even if you want to say some nonsense. Just give me 30 seconds.
Oh, man.
Continue.
I don't know what this is. Yeah, go ahead.
Alright, so it's not like the one was willingly participating in having sex. Well, I mean, she was having sex, but it wasn't obviously her choice to. So I feel like she shouldn't have to be held accountable of going through the pregnancy and giving birth if it wasn't even her fault in the first place. So that's why I agree with abortion if it's rape. Incest, I feel like it's cruel to birth a child that will come out deformed its whole life and have mutations and shit like that. I feel like that's just cruel to birth something out like that and make him suffer his whole life. And if it's gonna be fatal to the mother, I mean that's kind of obvious. There's no way you can really tell if it's gonna kill the mother. So I feel like she shouldn't have to be forced to birth the child if it's gonna kill her. Obviously.
All right. Does anyone disagree or want
Can I clarify? Yeah, can I clarify myself? Alright, so the reason why I was saying the things I'm saying is like, yo, yes, we can say that. Yes, you could say this, but even if I will like agree to all them circumstances, it doesn't account for how the child will be taken care of if they're born. It doesn't account for if the person who's ready to have who would be supposedly ready to have that child is actually ready to be a parent. Or is actually at the mental capacity that they want to be to become.
Well, if they're not ready to be a parent, they shouldn't be having sex in the first place.
Whoa! Let me stop you for a second. That's just you, but that could be your own moral thing. But everybody doesn't value sex as only baby making. Sexuality, as this has completely expanded out the wazoo. We can't just only say that. Especially when.
Well, no, I didn't say it was only for having babies, but I'm saying if the couple or whatever they are is not in the position to even take care of the baby in the first place, if it does happen that the woman gets pregnant, they shouldn't even be doing it in the first place.
But accidents happen a lot
If I may have
too.
the
That's
floor
why
real
we.
quick
That's
to,
also why we
speak on
have
the
preventative
collective
measures as
topic brought
well.
up.
And sometimes
Real
that shit
quick.
don't even work.
Just wait.
Yeah.
What
Okay.
did you say?
I don't feel like the if you're so worried about the life of the baby, right, after it comes out of the birth.
Why are you
phase,
ending
right?
it?
Why are you ending the potential if you're so worried about the potential life? That's a little weird to me. Two, I would say
The reason why
that.
I'm saying, oh yes.
Two, having an
Oh, yeah,
abortion
yeah.
up into the last couple of months of a pregnancy is just evil to me.
Yeah.
That's just evil. I am
Having an
only-
abortion at all to me is kind of evil.
It kind of is under the certain circumstances that you allocated, right? In my opinion, this is my opinion. If you have sex and there's a possibility that because of rape, familial rape, incestual rape, you're not wanting the baby, you should have about a week or two at the most to unconceive this baby, which can be done within the 24 hours
A
after
week
sex.
or two?
A week or two. And even
Pregnancy
then,
signs don't show up that fast, bro. They don't show up that fast.
but you know within a week or two who you had sex with. So as a woman, if a man comes in you and it has been a week or two, you might want to do the preventive measure. So you don't even have to have an abortion.
So then how about this? If protection was already made, or if you have birth control already, even if you take Plan B, that shit can still go through.
Yeah.
Sometimes, because our
Just
birth
like
control
condoms
is
can
not
still go
perfect.
through.
It's like condoms can still rip her. It can still seep through the condom.
Yeah,
It can
so
still
you
condom.
know willingly that there's still a chance no matter what to have a baby. So
then within
What are you
those
getting at?
those
So then you just
within
want
the-
people to just not fuck.
No, what I want them to do
Unless
is to
you're
be more
like-
responsible. Within the week or two, or even a month of you having sex or having routine sex, you should always have this option. That probably doesn't exist right now. But we should get better at terminating pregnancy earlier, as opposed to giving them the rights to terminate it whenever. If I'm making sense.
hey, y'all ever played the
Well,
game My
I think every
Monsters?
man should
My
be
Sea
You find out
Monsters?
about like pregnancy earlier, bro. But that's the thing. Our detection for that shit is already flawed as is. So we're already.
Absolutely. So
if
I don't
there's-
think we
if
should be
there's-
arguing with each other about whether it's right or wrong. We should be improving the technology to eliminate the argument in general.
But
I feel
but
like
even
it's
still,
grossly irresponsible to terminate a pregnancy past a month. Because in
not necessarily.
in
that can
our
be
human
really-
sense
that
of
can be
time,
really
a month is nothing. But in the quantum realm, and within that month, there's
We're talking Avengers now?
I mean, if you allocate quantum with Avengers, maybe you should find a comic book debate room. I don't know.
I'm messing. I'm sorry.
Cool. All I'm saying is that on a smaller scale than what we perceive with our eyes, there's things happening within that month. Conception is almost instantaneous. Once that sperm reaches the egg, that is life. Whether it's potential, whether it's chemical, it's life. We just don't perceive it as so because it's so small and it's something that in a fraction of a second you can forget about. That's it. That's all I'm saying. It's
I mean,
instantaneous.
I could just disagree though too, and just say that.
Can I ask
You
a question?
disagree? Wait. What could you disagree with what I just said?
I
Pick it apart.
could just say that. Nah, I think the life it would be later on down the line. I could just say that. I mean, I can go.
Right.
People can go in depth with that
We
argument.
can even
too.
say that life
You think it's- you
isn't
would
a
think it would
construct. Though.
literally
Like,
be in that-
plants
you
are alive and they never show signs of consciousness.
Yeah, but even with that life thing in general, we're setting up a lot of these children for failure. Listen, our country as
I
is
just don't
tough.
understand your
Our country
obsession with
just
the
said-
raising of the children, but then the enabling of the
Okay.
termination of the child.
Okay, so what I'm saying is we're punishing the parents and we're setting up the parents and their child for more failure and putting them into more poverty and putting them into more.
But not every single child goes through poverty that gets birthed. I mean, you can't
a
sit
lot
there
of
and
the
keep
time,
falling back.
yeah.
Show me the statistics, bro. You still have to show me them. I mean, you can't sit there and fall
I
back
just-
on it
Like,
with
the,
no
the
proof.
people,
Go ahead, Rat.
a good majority of the people that will get an abortion will be because they can't take care of it because they aren't. It's not a time that they can take care of it. They're too young. Blah 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 blah. They're not able to take care of it, and it's not gonna have a
Yes.
good life.
But he's pulling the foster care card, which not every single kid that goes in foster care. Yes, it might not be the best coming up, but I'm pretty sure
But
at
the
least
majority,
40%
there's a
of them
lot of
would be
people-
rather
Okay, but-
living than be aborted before they even have the chance.
I'm about to say that I don't think anyone, no matter what their life was going to be, would rather die. That's just like you're not only terminating the baby, but now
Yeah.
you're thinking for the baby that you
Alright,
terminated.
also, hold up.
So the baby
I don't
cannot
really-
Yeah, but the
live,
baby
and
doesn't
if it
have-
was to
Okay.
live, you're giving him a predisposed life.
Give me 1 second to talk. So what you're saying? All right. So there's 2.4. I did this math actually. I could show you how I got the numbers, but 2.4 roughly abortions have like kids or fetuses. I can't talk. All right. 2.4 million babies or whatever you want to call it have been aborted. Correct? Since 2018. So you're saying every single one of those kids have lived a horrible life and would have lived in poverty? Is what you're saying? and not one of them
I'm
would
not
have it.
saying every. I didn't say every single one. I'm saying there's plenty of different reasons why they should have a choice. That
Okay,
being one of them. I never
but
said
you only
that
gave
every
one.
single
You
one
only
of them
gave
would have
one
went
reason.
to.
You haven't given at least two.
That's
You've only
not.
given one. So,
That's not
so you
one
can't sit
reason.
there and
That's
say
not
that.
one reason. I've given plenty of different
This
reasons.
is gonna sound
If you were
barbaric,
listening
but
to
I'm
me,
a,
if
but
you're
I'm
gonna
a,
try
I'm
and
gonna
do
use
that,
your rhetoric.
then
I'm
let's
gonna use your
break it
rhetoric
down.
and
No,
say something very
wait.
barbaric.
Let me reply to him. No, let me reply to him then. If we're going to try and do that, I've already given plenty of different reasons. I've given three already.
You said
Added
foster
on to
care.
that. So what I said was foster care. What I said was foster care. What I said was rape. What I said was
Yeah, we already went over
child
rape. We
neglect.
already
What
went
I
over
said
rape.
was parent preparation for that child. Also, too, what I said was what we conceive.
At the end of the day, you were talking
There's
about
plenty of
the
different
life
other reasons.
after it becomes birthed. Well, if you care about the life after the woman births the child, why would you end it in the first place if you actually care about the life? Why wouldn't you help the foster care system and help the mothers that are in poverty so they can actually take care of their kid rather than just ending the life?
Let me become president. Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying you have to become president, but there's
He
people
replied
can,
with the
instead of
clip,
killing the
he
baby, you
replied.
can...
Okay, it's just Saitama. It seems that your ideology would be better suited to social services as opposed to terminating the child. You seem very invested in the life of the child after birth. So it seems kind of counterintuitive that the solution to a bad life, given whatever circumstances you deem, is to terminate the life. Now, I'm going to tell you something that's going to sound very barbaric. I don't give a fuck how half these kids in the world are raised. Whether you're in fucking Ethiopia starving, in Haiti eating clay dirt, I don't have the means to make your life better. So I don't try to put my mind to it. However, when I do put my mind to it, and I do try to care about these kids that I can't affect, it hurts. Because I can't give them a better life. So the best thing that I can do is to allow them to exist no matter what. And maybe the potential or the environmental factors can change their environment itself. But to rob them of the ability to rise from poverty, the ability to break out of the loop of foster care, the ability to prevail after rape or child sex trafficking or whatever numerous amount of things you want to bring up, to rob them of that by killing them in the conception is barbaric to me.
I wouldn't. But then that's only you thinking that would even be killing now too, because it's all about what you conceive as.
Question. So how do you?
Go ahead.
How do you feel
And
about
also,
miscarriage?
I really don't think. I really don't think I even have.
Pause.
that much to say.
Let's all take
Oh, no.
turns. Let's all take turns.
Wait, what did she say?
How do you feel about miscarriages? Like, say someone is unknowingly pregnant and they go and drink. I know there's a couple teas that, like, if you drink a bunch of it, it'll cause a miscarriage, and they go and drink a bunch of that, and they cause
On purpose
themselves a
in order to
miscarriage.
kill the child?
That's still
or
abortion.
But
That's still abortion. That's not
unknowingly, do
miscarriage.
you?
unknowingly, then no. They shouldn't be held accountable for that. If they didn't know, it's basically a miscarriage and it was out of their, well, it was in their control, but they didn't realize.
But do you
But
still
I mean,
see
if
that as
they-
like? Do you still value that as a bad thing? Like as a terrible, as
You
If
can't-
they
you
did it
can't value
intentionally,
because
then
it's not
yes. If they didn't do it
If it's not
intentionally, then no.
If it's not intentional, you know what I mean? Then what can you say?
And
Like,
then-
If they sit
I know
there
this
and
might
say,
have
"I'm
nothing
gonna
to
drink
do-
this
might have
and kill
nothing
my
to
baby
do
on
with the
purpose,"
whole
then
thing we're
yes.
talking about, but when I was like 19, my daughter, my sister cried out, and I knew because of the way she cried out, it was I think someone was breaking into the house or something. When I went upstairs, she went to use the bathroom, and I think it was like 2 months old little fetal thing dropped on the floor, and it was her baby. She didn't intend to lose her baby or miscarry. She was a little overweight. She had like pre-diabetes, and her body rejected the fetus, and it came out. What she thought was going to be probably a shit was her pushing a little baby out. I'm dead serious.
Yeah, that you gave me.
I could never like, oh, you killed my nephew. Like that's a mistake. But if she crammed a hanger in there or drunk something on purpose, that's an abortion and that's fucked up. That's all. And I just feel like if we had better technology if a woman has sex, even with the condom, and after taking a Plan B, and she feels like, you know what, that guy has some thick ass sperm, man. Let me go check this out. And she runs a scan and she says, well, you're a week pregnant. Go ahead, terminate it. But if you're fucking all willy nilly, you don't give a fuck. You're like 17 and you're just fucking all crazy and now you're pregnant. No, you can't get an abortion, man. No. It's already been 2 months. That thing is alive. It's chemically bonded. Like your egg and the sperm has become something. It's not even
putting on an onus on that woman and punishing them for all that shit. Like that's
it's not a punishment. It's a cause and a reaction. Her cause was having sex. The reaction is the baby. You can't eliminate the reaction and only have cause.
Okay, and why would you hold the baby accountable for something that it didn't do? Rather than holding the mother accountable for something that she did.
Why are we holding the mother accountable? Why are we holding the mother accountable?
Because she did it. It's her fault. The baby didn't do nothing to betray that happened. It definitely is. Okay, so what makes it not her fault? What makes it not her fault?
Especially with all the accidental.
Alright, this might blow your mind. This might blow everyone's mind, right? But sex biologically has a purpose. Even though we've pleasurized sex, we've pleasurized it, right?
Okay, fine. I could disagree with that. I know. I get that. I get that.
Are you gonna let me finish the statement, or are you gonna keep interrupting me? You gotta let me finish the statement. You can't see where I'm going and then jump to the conclusion.
Alright, fine. Yeah.
Sex biologically is to reproduce.
Everyone knows that. You learned that at school.
Everyone knows that. So when you have sex, there is a chance that you might get pregnant, no matter condom, no matter contraception, no matter pill. You know this, and you willingly engage in this act. So why, when what you willingly know can happen happens, do you want to terminate the effect?
I mean, like, there's a plethora of reasons why.
There's a bunch of reasons you could use to justify your idea of ending
this
education.
effect. The same, just like how you're justifying your reasonings behind how you want to force this woman to have that.
I'm not forcing the woman to do anything.
I mean,
if you
kind of are.
If you light a candle in the house,
you're just changing your perspective. You kind of are, though. It's exactly what you're doing.
Listen, whether I believe it or not, when people have sex, they have babies. Nothing I believe can change that.
When people have sex, they have babies. All right, fine. I may not be able to change your opinion on it because I know that you're steadfast in it, just like how I'm steadfast in mine. But let's just say that we'll agree to disagree, because I still can't fully put all that onus onto the woman and just give them all that. And just punish them for that, especially when
you'd rather put it on.
Let's just change the scenario.
So many semantics and too many fucking.
Let me hear your opinion on this. Then. Let me hear your opinion on this. Then. Let me hear your opinion on this. Then. What if the woman wants the abortion, but the man doesn't?
All right. So boom. I feel like that's her choice, because at the end of the day, you still. Let's do it.
No,
like
you
this.
answered it. I just want the answer, bro. Because I have a follow-up. You said it's the woman's choice still, right? Is that your take on it? I just want a simple answer, yes or no.
Yeah.
If the woman gets to choose. So if the man wants the baby, but the woman doesn't, she gets to choose to abort it, yes or no?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. What if the woman wants the baby, but the man doesn't?
I mean, like, yo.
Huh?
Still fucked up. I mean, like, it's still fucked up. You can just.
If the woman wants the baby, she can continue to have the baby. Yes or no?
Bro,
in your opinion.
Yep.
I mean, like,
cool.
So what if the woman wants it and the father doesn't want it?
So if the father doesn't want the baby, but the woman has it, am I legally obligated to support this child?
I mean,
no.
Yeah, that's why we do have child support.
No. She said no, and you're bringing up child support. So you think that I have sex with a girl, I don't know her, I'm 15, I don't want this baby, I tell her to get an abortion, she says no, she keeps the baby, she has the baby, I'm entitled now legally to pay child support? Why can I not abort the finances? How she can abort the life?
I mean,
preach.
So she can abort the life, but I can't abort the finances?
Say that again. Say that one more time.
Ready?
All right.
Woman wants baby.
All right.
Man doesn't want baby.
Man doesn't want baby. Okay.
Woman has baby.
Okay.
Man doesn't want to pay child support.
Okay. Actually, she can have that baby. He isn't owned up to actually give all that child support to her.
Cool.
She isn't
That's
owned
it.
up to have
No,
to give all that.
hey, that's it, bro.
I agree
That's
with
it. That's all I wanted to
Because at
hear.
the end of the day, he doesn't even want to be a father. I will say at the very least, they should at least.
So
know
just
who's
know,
their
so
father
just know
if they
that
want.
that type of rhetoric is fucking crazy. Because the child has no fucking stake in anything. The child has to be taken care of by both parents, regardless. And if you're so against foster care, how could you be against child support?
I'm not against foster care. What I'm against is how we're running it as is. I'm saying
I said why don't we just try to change the foster care? And you said, do you want me to become Mr. President?
Yeah,
So-
I mean, like, yeah, do you want me to
Foster
become
care, though,
Mr.
for
President?
long
But like
time.
that
Hold
doesn't.
up. So you would wait. Before you continue, so you would rather
You said you changed.
yes.
Foster care.
You can't single-handed change it, but you can actually you can start getting the word out there. Granted, than just killing the baby, and plus there's also many people that are also trying to change foster care.
I literally already do that.
Well, then
I've
why
already-
wouldn't you say yeah, that's not a bad idea. Granted, than killing the kid. But no,
Because
you said
because you're still saying killing the kid. I could still be pro-choice and think that we need to help out our social services in this country.
you realize it is a life at the end of the day, though.
That's what you consider a life. That's your opinion.
No, it's not an opinion. It's
That's
what
your-
the
that's your
majority
opinion.
of the
But
scientists
That's
have
still your
researched.
opinion.
It's
more like
research.
what you
And I
value
could find
over life.
scientists that disagree.
Yeah, but majority wins. Hope you know that.
What majority based off?
Majority scientists believe that life begins at conception, right when the sperm
Right.
hits the egg. That's when life begins, and that's what most scientists believe.
Of what? Most scientists based off of what?
Huh?
What's the sample size? And which scientists? Like, what's the article that I have to go look at?
All right, I'll show you.
I mean, so when do you believe life begins? When the heart beats?
I'll send. Wait, are you on PlayStation or what?
Yeah, I'm on PlayStation.
I'll send you a link to it.
Quick question.
I wouldn't. I don't
Saitama,
necessarily.
when
I don't
do you
necessarily
believe
even
that
care
life
about the
begins?
heartbeat. What I'm saying is, but you guys aren't going to.
I'm asking you a question though. I just want to know
I
when, in
wouldn't
your
care
personal
about- no,
ability,
no.
when does life begin in the womb for you personally?
I
When does
feel
life
like
begin?
no. What I think is, if it's too late into the trimester and it's within no reason, it still is their decision as is.
I just
It
we
doesn't-
understand that.
it doesn't
I just
matter.
want to know, in your opinion, when do you believe that life has begun in the womb? When is it a unique life with its own rights? When does it have rights?
I mean, like, I think it has rights whenever it comes out. At the end of the day.
So up until it comes out, it has no rights.
There you go. That's it right there.
I think if the mother, you know, what I do think though is, if somebody but then here's when it gets tricky, because the law. Here's when it gets tricky. There's a law. So
Let's just forget the law. Look, let's just do a thought experiment. You believe that the baby has no rights until it is reached through the vagina.
That's why I backpedaled a little bit. I think when it comes to a couple months in, because it's tricky with
When
that
is a
thing.
mother
I
supposed
think
to
that
stop
the mom-
smoking cigarettes
I think-
during the birth? When is it not okay for her to smoke cigarettes during the birth?
What happened to Zen?
I mean, like, yeah, she has to fucking live. She has to fucking live with that. I don't think somebody's gonna constantly keep getting pregnant.
She has to live with that, or does the baby have to live with the cigarette smoke and the deformities that might occur?
I mean,
You know what
if we're going off of what you're saying, the baby wouldn't live with it.
I feel like both would have to go through it.
The baby would already be dead coming out, so they wouldn't.
Because of cigarette smoke? Bro, are you crazy? You know how many cigarette and crack babies exist, man?
You know how many
Yeah,
babies die from that? shit,
Question.
Yeah, but not all.
too?
What? Yeah, but okay. Question. What kind of mom would smoke cigarettes while a child is in her stomach?
A bad one.
Just curious.
One that doesn't.
Yo, a very
Yeah.
irresponsible mom who probably shouldn't have the child. Holy shit.
So if the mother
Yes.
is gonna be a smoker, you'd rather it be aborted?
Smoker while she's pregnant.
No, but I would expect my mom not to smoke while I'm in her stomach. She's pregnant.
Yeah.
I would give them, yo, that's their choice as is at the beginning of
Well, it depends how much your mom cares
It's not.
about
I
it.
mean,
That's
it's
what
your
it comes
choice to
down
go kill someone. Granted, it's against the law, but
All right, we're gonna have some ending statements, closing
that's
statements
kinda-
on this topic. I've reached 30 minutes.
That's
We're gonna
kinda
keep this
different,
under 35 minutes.
No,
so we'll
it's
upload
called-
it to YouTube.
it's called
We're gonna start from the left of my
reductive.
name. Black Saitama, then
Nobody
Rat,
would be doing that
then
with
Listener,
knowledge. Nobody
then
be doing
Blue,
that.
and then Sneaky.
It's called reductive ad
starting with
absurdum. It's
Saitama.
literally a word.
Saitama, you
can
got
look it
30
up. Using
seconds.
your own knowledge
Closing
and logic
statement.
against you. That's what it's
Here
called.
comes Saitama. 30 seconds. Closing statement.
Alright, Simone. I think we're like kind of overstepping our balances, man. I really feel like it should be the woman's choice as is. They already go through a lot with all the different factors that goes into pregnancy and birthing, social security, and all the other things as well. We can argue about the semantics when it comes to the whenever we account for the life, but at the end of the day, like that mom is holding that so-called life, and it should really be on her choice because that's a part of her body too. Even though we like to not think that.
It's not.
So, yeah.
Alright.
I really feel like
4
it's a barbaric
seconds.
way to just think the opposite. It's very
All
old.
right. There goes 30
Conservative
seconds. Rat. 30 seconds. Closing statement.
Okay, I'll always be pro-life, and I think that the concept of forcing women to give birth to like unwanted babies that's like the worst thing, like to put them through.
Or you going to end your... You had 30 seconds. That's it?
Motherfucker, my thing died. Yeah, okay, that's it. That's basically it.
Okay. Listener, 30 seconds.
So, yeah. At the end of the day, most scientists still agree that, whenever the zygote, or whatever you want to call it, whenever the sperm cell hits the egg, is when life begins. So, granted, at the end of the day, abortion is still ending a human life, whether you think it's a clump of cells or not, you're still ending a human life. And I think letting that child come out and actually experience life, whether it's living a life in poverty or living a life in richness, I would still think it's better than getting killed in the womb. At the end of the day, that's my statement.
All right. Blue. Ending statement.
In my opinion, I think abortion is murder. YouTube.com/Rajiin. Go sub up. That is the end of my statement.
No, fuck with it. Alright, Sneaky, ending statement. 30 seconds.
I just joined, so I didn't hear much of it, but I'm pro-life, so like, if it was about abortion, as soon as that sperm goes in, that's a kid. I mean, you're killing a human at that point. So I agree with what Listen said. I agree with him. What Listen said.
Alright, guys, that was a very nice debate. I love the respect you guys have for each other. I'm going to end this stream right here at 33. If you want to go hear this conversation, go to youtube.com/Rajiin, Rajiin. You will definitely be able to hear this again. Drop your comments in the comment section.